Adekunle Ogmola, Oyo chapter 64, 68 year club. All projector your house.
My name is Bolanhon Labinjo, Lagos chapter, and you know the house. There's only one house in Olivet, Lockett House.
Adilabu Adegboye Adeyinka, 95-2001 set, National Treasurer. Thank you. I was in Pinnock House. Thank you.
Wale Okediran is my name. 1971 set. Outgoing president. Oreta your house. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay. I belong to all the houses for just 48 hours. So, thank you, everybody. Our next item on the agenda is a welcome address. But before we do that, I want us to please stand up for a minute in remembrance of all those
Today,
who
I'm
passed away.
going to show you how to quickly get started in OBS Studio on your first stream or screen recorder. Do this as quickly as I can. So, if you need to follow along or need to skip forward to something, check the chapter markers or pause the video and go back. Let's do it. So the first thing you're going to need is OBS Studio. So, type in OBS Studio on Google. You're going to go to obsproject.com. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on Windows if you have Windows, obviously Mac if you have Mac, obviously Linux if you have Linux. And as you'll notice, in the bottom left-hand corner, it just downloaded the setup installation folder. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click it to open it or find it in your download section. You know, next or yes. So I already have OBS Studio installed, so I'm not going to be able to go through that screen with you. But all you need to know is that you just click next a few times and then it will pretty much be installed and then open the program. So one of the first things that I like to do is I like to go into the settings menu.
Starting from Babalala and to the youngest Olivetian.
And I click video, you're going to see two resolutions in the video tab. You're going to see the canvas and the scale. The canvas is the max resolution for your monitor. So definitely pick the one that your monitor is. Mine happens to be a 4K monitor, so that's why you're going to see this bigger resolution. Now, the scaled is what you're sending to your audience. It's what they're going to view on Twitch or YouTube, and most of the time 1920 by 1080 is going to be your go-to. Now, sometimes it's better to do 720p, and that's because it'll be a little easier for your audience to actually load up basically on their internet connection. Now, don't worry about the
I want to appeal to everybody once again.
Downscale filter by cubic is fine. The FPS value, 30 is generally recommended.
You are all welcome. Thank you.
Definitely can't go lower than that. But 30 is the one that's recommended because it's efficient and it doesn't use up a ton of space or energy on your computer. 60 frames per second, it becomes a little more important in gaming type settings where, you know, the overall smoothness of the video game is more important. But 30 frames per second is totally fine.
We will not at this point
for 90% of all applications. So we're going to stick with 30.
And then at the end of the minutes, you can now go on to matters arising.
All right, so you hit apply if you haven't already, and you hit OK. Now
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Minute of the National Executive
we did our video settings, we're going to go on to our scenes.
Of NOSA, dated 5th July 2025. Time. It was taken between
the added scene that's going to be our gameplay scene. Now making
that is 2:30. It was hosted by Ibadan chapter. Opening.
A scene is super easy. All you gotta do is hit the little plus sign underneath the scene column.
The school anthem was recited by all present. Attendance and apologies.
It says add scene.
Hit
the plus sign, give it a new name.
The meeting in his capacity as the president Mr. Larry
Game,
Fadansi,
we're
Vice
going to
President
do
1, Mr.
game
Abimbola National General Secretary,
screen
Engineer Aramide Alabi, Mr. Adiola Amzat, Mr. Boye Adelabu, Mr.
record.
Clinton Oluremi,
Boom. There we go. Then we hit. Okay.
Mr. Toyebi Oyetunji.
Okay, you can name it whatever you want.
The outgoing financial secretary.
All right. So now,
represented Oshogo chapter that very day. Mr. Taiwo Ogweson, representing the 1998 set. Mr. King Olubi of the Central Planning Committee, who participated via Zoom. Several other members were recorded as present. Apologies were noted from the NOSA president for starting the meeting behind schedule. Adoption of minutes. Mr. Boye Adelabu read the minutes of the previous meeting on behalf of the secretary who was trapped in traffic. Engineer Aramide Alabi moved for their adoption, and a motion seconded by Mr. Adiola Amzat. The committee resolved unanimously to adopt the minutes as presented. Report. 88th anniversary report. Mr. Boye Adelabu presented the report. Mr. Shotonwa thanked the executive committee and all Olivetians for their award received during the anniversary celebration. Alhaji Kolaole expressed disappointment over the manner in which he was treated at the Founders Day event, noting that she had personally funded several anniversary items that had not yet been reimbursed. Mr. Toyebi Oyetunji conveyed the dissatisfaction of the Oshogo chapter with the arrangement of the gala night. Mr. Taiwo Ogweson thanked NOSA for awarding an artistic contract during the anniversary. Mr. Akin Olubi, speaking from the Zoom link, offered apology to Alhaja Kolawole, confirming that our expenses will be refunded, and also apologized to Oshogo chapter for any inconveniences caused. Boarding house issue. The president appealed for a swift resolution of the boarding house matter. Mr. Clinton urged the committee to expedite the process of restating the boarding house. Mr. Adiola Amzal reported that substantial grant has been completed, but that the final approval was still awaited from the Nigerian Baptist Convention. Mr. Boye Adelabu voiced his support for this restatement. The president asked whether any member held a contrary view, and none was expressed, and all members voiced their support for the restoring the hostel back to school. Preparation for AGM. The president announced that the Ibadan chapter would host the forthcoming annual general meeting and outline the vacant position that will be filled during the upcoming election. Observation on contested positions. Mr. Goyadilabu observed that certain positions, such as vice president, should not be contested due to concern about sustainability. The president responded that this matter will be addressed at the AGM. Principal's report. The principal presented his report and announced his retirement effectively October 2023 on behalf of 2025. On behalf of the NOSA, Mr. Clinton thanked the principal for his service. Alhaji Kolaole requested that NOSA consider appointing additional teacher for mathematics and English to support afternoon lessons. Financial report. The treasurer presented the financial statement. He clarified that to be regarded as a financial member and therefore eligible to vote, a member must have paid the sum of 6,000 by the stipulated deadline. Payment received after the deadline will render a member financially active but ineligible to vote. Chapters and year set report. Representatives of all chapters and year set that were present delivered brief reports on their activities. The president thanked each representative for their contribution. Adjournment. Mr. Oyetunde Atoyebi moved for the adjournment. A motion by Ilakinshola, and the meeting was adjourned at 14:30 hour. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, General Secretary. Yes, any corrections, additions, or subtractions? Yes, please. Get fast. Get through. Please. Mike.
Good afternoon, my president, the past president, and other protocol duly observed. And the second paragraph, my name is Atoyebi Oyetunde, not Oyetunji. Then there is omission here. Mr. Atoyebi Oyetunde, not Oyetunji, conveyed the dissatisfaction of the Osogbo chapter with the arrangement for the gala night and non-inclusion in the 88th anniversary brochure. Not only the gala night, sir.
Any other observation, omission, or addition, please?
So, in the absence of any more corrections, can somebody please move a motion for adoption of the last minutes? Yes. Professor Wole, allow me.
And in the absence of any correction or omission, I move that the minutes should be discussed. Wole, allow me. Abuja.
Clinton Oluremi Shotonwa hereby move the motion that the report should be discussed. Thank you. And Professor to support. Thank you.
Thank you. So the
point of correction, please. You can only move for us to adopt. You can't move to discuss. The discussion is in the matters of arising. You can't ever move a motion to discuss because it was discussed at the meeting. No, it's motion to adopt.
Adoption. It's adoption.
Thank you very much. I'm moving the motion to adopt the meeting. The minute. Yeah, thank you. As amended. Thank you.
Professor Laomi has seconded it. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So, all right. So we go on with the matters arising. Sorry. Okay. The 80th anniversary report. Okay, Judge and Secretary. Okay, well, sir. Sir, I want to start with the 80th anniversary.
Okay. It's all right. But
Thank you, sir.
According to the agenda I have
And
here.
when we get to the boarding house, I will call you, sir. Before I speak about the 80th anniversary report, I'd like to formally welcome our new principals to the NEC, because this is their first meeting. From the principal of senior school, Mrs. Olanike Oyitola Olaojo. You're welcome, ma'am. Principal of junior school 1, Mrs. Emily Adebola Olawale. Welcome. And Principal, Junior School 2, Mrs. Runke Mukudola Oladejo. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes. All right. So I'll call on Babadi Sokwe on the boarding house issue. Give me a mic.
I'm looking through the agenda I'm having. Item 7. The first point under item 7 is return of the boarding house. I don't really have a report to give on this, but I think somebody must have done some work, and he needs to give us a report right now. Return of the boarding house. How far? Well, a few things I can say about return of the boarding house, my president and the house, is that up till now, the Nigerian Baptist Convention has not given us a parcel of land on which we can build the boarding house. That's all I know about it for now.
Thank you, sir. I was just being informed by Dr. Gumola about the same thing, because we visited the Baptist Convention here in Oyo with Dr. Gumola a few months ago, and up to now, they have not given us any response. All we are hearing is that the matter is being discussed somewhere else. And without a parcel of land, we cannot proceed, because you don't have a land, you cannot build anything on it. And I know that some other activities have also gone on in this, on the issue of the boarding house. So I will call on the past President Bolan Labinjo to also say a few things.
Thank you very much. During the 80th anniversary, we took it, gathered a group of architects, and we did a complete survey of unused, unoccupied buildings that were falling apart in the old guest hostels. We looked at it from the perspective to say, instead of asking for a land, the area is covered by the bush, the buildings are falling apart, and there's a hall. The old guest hostel dining hall was completely abandoned. Along with that is the staff quarters all along where our youth service corpers were staying. So we surveyed it, we took pictures, and we are recommending that instead of the buildings falling apart and the overgrown grass, that is the area the Baptist Convention should cede to us as a starter, because they are not using it. And I can tell you that if another 2 years, 3 years, that whole thing will be falling further apart. So I will put it on record that instead of asking them for a fresh land, let's use the existing hostel that we are familiar with, rehabilitate them if they are rehabilitatable, or we bulldoze them and then be able to construct on that land. They are not using it at all. At all. You can go there now, you will see they have already overgrown again. So that would be my suggestion, and so it can be part of what we ask them on the next meeting. Because if they are not using those buildings and they are not using that landed area, because we even met some farmers that were cultivating the land there, and when we asked them who gave it to you, they said it's not being used. So they are using it. That's what he told us. Okay.
Thank you for that information. Any other information or addition from anybody? Yes, please.
I remember that I had an informal discussion with the head of the conference in Oyo here. Yeah, one doctor, I've forgotten his name. And he told me that the problem they are having is that about 3 Baptist schools are making the same request. And it is a little bit difficult for a pronouncement to be made on just one. That if they are going to take a decision, it's going to be holistic, at least for all of them. But from what past President Labin just said, I think we can approach it from a different dimension now. We are not asking for additional land. We are asking for the takeover of abandoned structures. And again, I told the man that one way of deciding, of determining who is prepared, is for us to show them the level of preparedness of our school in taking over the structures or additional land. Because it's one thing to ask for additional land, it's another thing to be very ready to begin building structures, constructing buildings on these structures. But I know that in our own case, we are a little bit ahead of others. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The buildings. Who are the original owners now, the present owners of those buildings? Baptist? Okay. I think we should do some findings before we take over the place.
Thank you. And yes, please. Dr. Adeneko.
Thank you very much. I think the place that Mr. Labinjo just mentioned is particularly nice because of the proximity to the classes. Because the next place where you have land will be probably behind Lockett. Okay? And then if we are asking them to seed, in other words, to give us. And we tell them if they want to sell. We give them the option if they want to sell. We could probably, well, it's an option so that they. Sorry? Okay. It's not their land, so they cannot sell. Ah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other contribution regarding the hostel? Yes, please. Please give it to Mr. Oladeji.
Good afternoon again, everybody. I stand on all existing protocol. You see, land availability to our school, I think we slept on our right. And in law, even if you own a piece of land and somebody seizes that land, you are alive, you stand by, and the person constructs or takes over the land, and you do nothing. After 12 years, that land automatically belongs to the trespasser. Where am I coming from? In 1976, government took over all secondary schools in Oyo State. And we've had this discussion before. At the time, I was a member of the National Executive, which Dr. Amadu was the chairman. We tried to explore how can Olivet regain the land that was appropriated without law by the Nigerian Baptist Convention. The Olivet that I went to, that I know most of the people on the high table went to, was a single school, which consisted of, we had 2 or 3 fields, school, hostel, lockets, atunda, and so on and so forth. the Baptist Convention partitioned the land, partitioned the chapel, and changed it to Olivet Baptist Church. So the question that we faced at that time was, what shall we do? If I remember very well, a meeting was held by the Baptist Convention. But look, you don't have the right to do what you did. This land belongs to Oyo State government. And at that time, when Oyo State government took over the land, what we had, or what was published in that gazette, I still have the gazette somewhere, that the proprietors or the former owners will be duly compensated. I never knew, I did not know whether the proprietor of Olivet at that time are compensated. Now, the pitch of the Baptist Convention's argument was this: the entire land of Olivet was given to the Southern Baptist Convention in the United States. The Southern Baptist Convention now built Olivet Baptist High School. So at some point along the line, the Southern Baptist Convention that was given this land by Obaladi Golu and the other one, Obadeyemi, the Southern Baptist Convention now transferred their right to the Nigerian Baptist Convention. So the Nigerian Baptist Convention now said, oh, by virtue of that transfer, they have been vested with ownership of that land. And my argument at that time was that no, government has taken over and you have been paid compensation. We were a bit tardy. We never went to the next step. I said, look, let us challenge this. And we stood by our land. So what do we do now? One, as if you keep on writing petitions to the Nigerian Baptist Convention, they are not going to do anything. How many meetings have we had with the Nigerian Baptist Convention? They won't do anything. They'll be hoping that one day they will have money to develop it. So if there are some old buildings in the school that are almost falling apart that we think we can rebuild, we can do that. And on the side, if you have a very strong national body of elders who have contact with government, we can write a petition to the Oyo State government that its land was wrongly appropriated by the Nigerian Baptist Convention. But do we have the will? Because anything that concerns church, we are always very hesitant, even if the church is wrong. So it is a big challenge to the incoming executive, whoever wins, to see how Olivet can regain so much of the land that was taken wrongfully, in my view, from it by the Nigerian Baptist Convention. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, sorry, before I call let me just acknowledge the presence of two elders from the Ibadan chapter. I can see Baba Oladimeji. You are welcome, sir. I can also see Dr. Tayo Alayonde. You are welcome, sir. They are from the President's chapter. So they have to come and sit in front. Sir, come and sit in front, sir. You have a seat here. Baba, your seat here. Dr. Alayonde, come and sit in front here. Yes, sir. And then I can also see Engineer Adegbeson. Please, can you come to the front? No, yes, sir. All right. Yes, please. Please, get through. Can you give the microphone to...
Thank you. I want to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Adeleke Adedayo. Concerning what Barrister Ladeji said, what really happened when the land was being taken over is that there was a clause that if there is excess land the owner, that is Nigeria Baptist Convention, can collect that land, but they can only use it for one thing, educational purposes. And that is what they are using it for. So by that, if we write petition to tomorrow, that clause is still there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Jethro. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I want to speak for the background that I'm a member of the Nigeria Baptist Convention as a church goer. And I'm aware that all schools are properties taken over by government. Government are not paying penny compensation. It's all over Nigeria, even in Osun State. So the reference that compensation had been paid was never true. So it was taken over by Fiat under the military administration. So, and that enabled the convention to demarcate that land. Otherwise, if they are taking compensation ab initio, they wouldn't have any God coming in here for anything. So if we want to do our project, I want us to be very careful to know who owns that project. Like I think Brother Bola said, who will be the owner of that project that we are doing? Is it Olivet Baptist High School Oyo, fully owned by government now? Is it National Old Student Association, Olivet Baptist High School Oyo, who we have that property? Because there must be a name, a title for the property, and which we must be very careful whatever we are doing with the convention. So if they are ceding to National Old Student Association, Olivet Baptist High School Oyo, so be it. They know that they are talking to old students of Olivet and not Olivet Baptist High School Oyo. The accounting officer of Olivet Baptist High School Oyo is the principal of that school, and we have to be very careful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, yes, please. Okay, sorry, just a minute. Let talk.
The national president, our elders, great Olivetians. The issue concerning the premises of Olivet Baptist High School and the Nigerian Baptist Convention has been on for quite some time. And opinions are varied on how best to move. Some time ago, we decided to have clarity on what to do concerning these premises, and I think that was what Mr. Akinladeji was referring to. With your permission, sir, can I go on? There seems to be some rumbling at the back. So what we did was to bring together our legal minds. And I think then we had Mr. Akinladeji, Dr. Layonu, SAN, and Professor Shipiton, SAN. They wrote a report, and I would love to request the NOSA executive to look into that report. Let them read that report and see how we can navigate along these lines. I shared the opinion of past President Bola Labinjo. We inspected the place together, and we saw all the blocks ready to build another school, wasting away. We've spoken to Baptist Convention. Some people there want to assist, some don't want to do it. So unless we really go there and navigate properly, those properties will be there for youngs with nothing to do. The rate of growth at the Baptist Academy is so slow that they will not be needing the premises for the next so many years. So I pray that we look into that report and see how best we can navigate the problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Standing on existing protocol. You know, one of the things in my early life is that it's better to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. When you describe the properties that are there, to Baptist Convention. They don't know that it's there. They don't. I think there should be, what I would recommend is there should be an invitation to survey together. That's when they will likely realize how dilapidated those structures have been. If you remember before, when you are walking from the guest hostel to the chapel in those days, you will see that all the buildings along that line, none of them were touched. None. They are falling apart. So they've now demarcated another wall to protect the site that they are using. To protect the site that they are using. So if you don't bring them to come and see it, they don't know it existed. I remember having a conversation with the pastor. I think they've transferred him now. And during my tenure, when I asked him, I said, what are they using all those? He said, we don't know who owns them. Even the farmers that were tilling the ground, they were just doing their own thing, and you know they are not, it's not by special invitation. So my recommendation is that we should do a joint visit with them before having the discussion. I think we missed that opportunity with the president of the Baptist Convention when he was around. We should have done a tour with him. And then from there, maybe we can ginger their spirit to now say. But I agree with engineer Ajao. When we realize that Olivet is still a government school, if you look at all the contractual development that we did during the 88, we specifically put it in the name of NOSA. So if the government showed up one day and said, this is ours, then we can carry our own stuff and say, this is also ours. So please, let's just invite them. Let's do a joint visit, and then from there, a meeting afterwards. I think it has to be planned that way. Otherwise, they don't realize the properties are there.
Thank you so much. Well, yeah, okay. Sir, I thought you have exhausted. Let Baba also speak, and then.
Mr. President, sir, and members of the IT.
Sit down, sir.
Thank you. Let me stand up.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Now, that poster, there was a time it was being run for business. Oshi, DK Oshi, was running that hostel for business, and he was reporting to the Baptist Convention. I was co-opted to the management at that time, but when I saw that they were not appropriating the income properly, I voluntarily withdrew. I withdrew. Baptist Academy is not using that property at all. They are not using. Let us ask them, because I think when Baptist Academy resumed, they were to use that hostel as well, but they are not using it. Now, Brother Labe just said they have gone to the area to survey it. Now, to be able to speak precisely, try to catch the quantum of land we are talking about by surveying it, even if it is only a sketch. So, the people that we are talking about, Baptist Convention, we know the extent of land that is being wasted. That is my suggestion, please. God help us. And it is a good idea to bring out that hostel. There are a lot of our members who are staying afar, stay in Lagos, even in London. But they have their wards here in Nigeria. They want their wards to attend Olivet. But they can't put their children under the care of an old woman, of even an old man like me. What is the standard of my discipline now on a younger person? What is the standard now? I'm weak now as an old man. I can tolerate anything. That is the fact. So let us put all our efforts together to take over and rebuild that hostel. God help us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Chairman Lagos.
Good evening once more. Oh, this is better. I attend the Baptist Church in Lagos. I happen to be a council member, not board member, of the schools, education, whatever we call it. I know for a certain that the Baptist Convention has kind of pulled back from all Baptist schools or schools owned by the Baptists. They say if you have a school, for instance, let's say Baptist Cards or my small church in Lagos, the school they have that, you have to be responsible for your school, not the convention again. So I believe that could be part of what is affecting the Baptists here, this academy here. It could be part of it. I really don't know. But the convention is not handling the education of Baptist schools. Again, they have pulled back, not completely. So I think the time is right, or the time is right for us to try and meet them halfway. That's the first part of what I want to say. Secondly, when my kids were in secondary school, the kind of school they went to was solely, supported by the Catholic Church, the Catholic sisters. It was right there in one bush in Ijebu. But once you enter that school, it's like either American soil or UK soil, in the sense that everything is like when we were in Olivet. It has a boarding, it was fully boarded. Those that were indigenous, that were taken on scholarship to that school, had to live with the high and mighty or whoever you are, children of admirals, whatever, in that hostel. That was how everybody was raised. Now, if such a thing can happen, after a while the sisters got from the parents, because we paid, it was a private school anyway. It wasn't really run by them, but the way they did in Catholic, you have subvention from Rome and all that. If they can do that, I believe if you can meet the academy halfway, maybe tell them we can help them to manage their school. Yeah. They have seen what we have done here, and they're very much interested in what we, the old students, have done here. So if you can meet with them and discuss with them, I believe there's a way forward with all those buildings rotting away. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have exhausted all we can on this topic. What is left for us is to go back to the chairman of the HIDOC committee on this, Dr. Kunle Ogumola, to please, we will summarize all that has been discussed today and pass it to him and his committee. And we will also give him the mandate to co-opt anybody that he feels will be useful in this venture, so that we don't spend too much time on this. I want to thank all those who have spoken on the issue of the boarding house system. I'm happy that it's as if we are all unanimously agree that a return to the boarding house system for Olivet is needed at this point. So we continue to seek the support of Dr. Ogumola and his committee to continue the work. So the next issue on the agenda is the donation of multipurpose building by Mr. Femi Otedola. I will quickly answer this because myself and the General Secretary were involved in this arrangement. During our 80th anniversary celebration, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State was here. And after our event, we did a small talk, just like Mr. Labinjo and Co did, of the Olivet premises. And then we saw another abandoned building, which is, yes, Ladder Corner. And the deputy governor quickly told us, he said, look, why don't let us waste time. Because I know Femi, that is Todola, that when he's ready to do something and you delay, his mind might go off the radar. As a businessman, he's continuously thinking of what to do. So he now said that we should look into the possibilities of taking over that building, probably demolishing it and giving that parcel to Femi Otedola for him to consider doing something. Because, like we told him, we had not been able to get any land for the hostel. And since we don't want to keep Otedola waiting, because he sent his representative to the event, and it's like he was in a hurry. So he now asked us to use that abandoned building. So quickly, I directed the General Secretary to get an architect to give us a small drawing of a 3-floor multipurpose building that will be useful for so many things. Laboratory, admin, and some other things. And the building will be, we have all the latest gadgets. It will be powered by solar, borehole, and the equipment for the laboratories will also be included. So that was what we forwarded to Mr. Otedola and through his representative. And luckily for us, he accepted that come next year, he will build that project for us. Yeah. So he said he will send his team of engineers and architects by January this coming year to assess the place and then start the construction. So for the incoming executive, we are going to hand over a Christmas gift to you so that you can continue from where we are living. So that is what it's all about Femi Otedola. Do you have any other thing? No. Okay, thank you. So we quickly go on to the. So on that note, we confirm. Oh, sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If I understand my president very well, if Otedola had already accepted to give us hostel, why do you want to abandon it? I read from Atale Emeji. Yorùbá ló máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ààrẹ fún Atale Emeji. This is an opportunity. Owó tí ọ̀nà ọ̀pọ̀ kò sówó tí ó sì lówó tó ó lágbára láti ṣiṣẹ́ yìí. He has the strength financially to be able to sponsor this project. Don't let us abandon this hostel. This is my opinion as an elderly person. I know what it means. Please, Otedola is a wealthy man. He's not only a rich man. He's a wealthy man. He doesn't work. Money comes in every minute. Please, audition you.
Thank you, sir. Actually, sir, we would have handed over the hostel to him if we had the land. But from the deputy governor's advice, he said, look, we are still running after Baptist convention. How that this man, if you don't pin him down now, he may change his mind. But after what you have said, sir, we can still offer it to him. All right, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We can do like Oliver Twist. Ask for more from him. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
All protocol duly observed, sir. Sir, submission of proposal for laboratory or multipurpose is a battery of our motive. What makes some of us to work for 80th anniversary? Submitting that to Otedola without consultation of this honorable house is a battery of trust, sir. Yes. When we were campaigning for 80th anniversary, we said our goal is to build hostel and dormitory. And this man come and promise to construct a dormitory for hostel facility. Then if we are going out for something else, this whole house should be carried along. Yes. No.
Excuse me, please.
Yes, sir.
I think
it's a battery of our
it is better for us to listen properly when the president is raising anything. It is that we will be able to make informed comments, right? He said, if we don't want to lose that opportunity, as advised by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, that he knows him personally, that if you don't do anything now, the man will change his mind, right? At least from what I've gathered now, we have submitted something. But from the advice of Chief Lala, what we can do is visit him again, tell him that we have this problem of land acquisition for the hostel. That if we can tarry a bit for us, then we'll be able to submit that of the hostel. So we now have the options before him so that we don't lose completely. Excuse me, let's have one house, please. If the mere fact that that has been submitted does not mean that we cannot have a hostel from any other source, right? But the point is, let us be sure of the land that we want to use. Because anybody that wants to give out anything will tell you, give us a blueprint of what you want to build and the location. What if somebody suddenly says, okay, I'm prepared to build the hostel. Where is the land? What will you do?
Thank you, Dr. Kumala.
Again, all protocols duly observed. I think I want to address my answer to the penultimate speaker, who said that a campaign was made for the purpose of building hostels and so on. You see, we must not forget where we are. At this point, Olivet is a day school. Even if you have all the money in this world, today, you can't just start building hostels. We first have to go to the Oyo State government for permission to turn it to run a boarding house. And that is the point of view where some of my elders on the high table are still insisting that we have to collaborate with the Nigerian Baptist Convention, because the government may not give it to the old students. You see, GCI, Government College Ibadan, able to do this, able to get the Oyo State government to allow them to run the school and restore their boarding house and so on and so forth, because the government college is a fully owned government school. In our own case, the land documents belong to the Nigerian Baptist Convention. Oyo State government took over. There has to be some form of collaboration and conviction to convince Oyo State government that Olivet should be allowed to run the boarding house. And who will run the boarding house? Is it the old students or the Baptist Convention? That is the area we have to navigate. So as we speak, it is the duty of the new executive. And I'm very happy that the two principal candidates for the office of president are in the hall. The duty of the incoming executive is to ensure that the Oyo State government grants us permission similar to that of Government College Ibadan. Otherwise, Oyibola Council, we won't get anywhere. Thank you, sir.
Standing on all protocols. My concern is we have the yam and we have the knife. But the problem we have is speed. Or maybe concern. You have the Deputy Governor of Lagos State standing here, even a member of this association, who is also very close to the Oyo State Governor. Otedola is willing to do the responsibility that we are craving for. I mean, it shocks me that we can't quickly rush that. Do we have a committee set up for that? Number two, do we have designs for the dormitories that we are talking about? We have not moved. Please, there must be speed. We have not really done anything. God bless you.
I want to chip in, sorry, all protocols observed, my seniors, my elders, and all the people on the item. I think we have an advantage that we have not utilized. Ladoja is the godfather of Seyi Makinde. Seyi see us 2 years before he leaves office. If you can exploit that Ladoja's angle, I'm sure Seyi Makinde will give us what we want. Because the same political connection via several sources was what the GCI people used to get Seyi Makinde to give us what we want. So let us use what we have. What we don't have, don't let us go into it. But I can tell you, there is nothing that will tell Seyi to do that Seyi will not do. You can take it to the bank.
Good evening, everybody. Standing on the existing protocol, I want to say it categorically that there should be no compromise to building a hostel. Nothing can stand between an hostel and what we want to achieve with building a hostel. Let me ask you a question. What Olivet achieved most was during the time we have a hostel. I don't know whether I'm saying the truth. Now that we don't have a hostel, what are we achieving now? Just, local people from Oyo coming to Olivet. By the time we had an hostel, my learned junior, I'm not in the court of law. See, I don't know if we can manufacture a multipurpose hall from that area. We can turn it to a hostel. We can use that place we are talking about. We can turn it to a hostel, which is the most important thing that we need now. Otedola came out with his biography after the 80th anniversary. I don't know how many people read it. He said the only reason that brought him to Olivet was because Olivet had hostel. Am I lying? He said his parents said, since you are not cooperating, we will send you to a school that has an hostel. And that was when he came to Oyo in 1977. Had it not been that he came to Oyo because of, sorry, Bola, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Bola, please. Had it not been
that we had hostel there, probably we would not have somebody like Otedola coming to this school. And we still have many of them that will still come if there's a hostel. So that multipurpose, please forget about it. That place we want to use for multipurpose, let us use it to build a hostel. Thank you, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to adopt the existing protocol. And these are my observations. There are a lot of gaps which we need to mind and fill. Number one of our elders said, Olivet is a day school. If Olivet is a day school, how did we get to the point of thinking about building hostels? Number two, if we have agreed that we need to build hostel, and having a plot of land from either the Baptist or the government is an issue, is it a must that the hostel must be built here? If we so desire, can we not purchase a plot of land elsewhere and build a befitting hostel with maybe a school bus that will convey those students from that hostel to the school? I don't believe that there is no land in this school, and that is what is stopping the erection of an hostel. There are lands in Oyo, so if we so desire, we can buy a plot of land, even within this environment. It might be maybe like 500 meters away or even 1 kilometer. We have the hostel, it's secured, and we have a bus to convey the student back to school. But the first thing we need to do is to identify whether the government will allow the current Olivet to be a boarding school or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can you come to the front here?
Thank you, Mr. President. I know we are moving forward, and we are very lucky. The head of the administrative bureaucracy in Oyo State is an old student, the head of service, who can use the officials to get what we want, except other than the governor himself. Now, we have left the stage of taking better outside or inside the campus here. We have discussed that over, and we knew that it's better to have our hostel within this area, which will be better for the students to go to their classes in the night for preparatory classes and so on and so forth. Now, sir, whatever we are doing, the school principal is the account officer. I said it the other time. Is the account officer for Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo. Whatever we are doing, at all times, he or she must be carried along. Whatever portion of land we want to use for any purpose, whether multipurpose or hostel, that portion which we have marked, she should be aware, and she or she should do the needing administrative bureaucracy to get that portion of land approved from the state government that we are working on it. Because somebody just said there's a land there, a building there, we can't demolish it. You cannot demolish anything. They are all inventory of the buildings are noted by government. And before you can demolish a single block, you must have approval for it. Please don't let us be too much in a hurry to do things that will backfire. So if you have marked a portion, let's get approval for the use of that portion from the Oyo State government, even if it is inside there. That's one. Number two, we have discussed and said at many times that we must have the physical planning of Olivet Baptist High School, and that will take us from coming up with developments, bringing all everywhere, scattering about. No, it's not going anywhere. We are lucky we have professionals. We have town planners, we have surveyors, we have architects, we have builders, we have engineers amongst us who naturally should not get so much money from us as professional fees. Yes, because they pass out for this. So let us have the physical planning also of Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo. Then we know this area is marked for this purpose, this place is marked for this purpose, and we will know the type of structure that will be put there, whether bungalow or multi-story structures. I want to rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, your last.
You see, it's kind of interesting the conversations that we are having. This conversation was had, I just reminded Dr. Gomola that Baba Lala did a master plan. Baba is sitting right there. A master plan that was submitted to the state government. Am I lying, sir? We can kill two birds with one stone. During the 80th, we also did a full-blown drawing to convert that building into an hostel. But it was a bungalow. So we can put a proposal now to redesign. The architect is an Olivetian that did all the work and very, very close to the deputy governor. We can charge Ladi to redraw instead of the bungalow, make it a multiple story. Let's start from concept to action. Somebody said, like Baba said, I have money for you. He didn't look at a sketch when he gave 3 billion to St. Augustine. So we can delay, we can debate, we can speak English, we can do whatever. But that building was condemned by the Oyo State government. They said structural integrity. Exactly. So they ceded it to us. Do whatever you want to do it, bulldoze it. Before it was considered to say, should we build a hall there? Should we do this there? The same way we dalida for 8 years ago, we are starting again now. We are starting again. If our mission is to bring the hostel back, let's focus on it. Let's do the drawing. Let's approach the government and say, this is what we want to do. Let's move forward, not backwards all the time. We will come back 4 years from now. Some of us will not be in this room. The new people will say, let's do hostel. We will start all over again. Baba has done the master plan. If you want a copy, ask Baba to send you a copy. You will get a copy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Labinjo. Well, we want to make progress. The summary is to say that there's a master plan, and that place is not meant for a hostel. So there's no way we can put any hostel there. Secondly, it's always nice to listen to advice from experts. If a whole deputy governor of a state can give us an inside information about somebody that is used to, he said, I know this man. If you don't move fast, he will change his mind. And that's what we did. But like Balala said, there's nothing stopping us from approaching Mr. Atodola again after completion of this or during the process and to say, sir, thank you for what you have done. But we still have another issue. Can you help us? So I think that is the way forward. Just like Mr. Labinjo said, we need to make progress. Don't let's go back and forth. We have taken a decision and the man is so happy with it. So let us move progress. Thank you so much. The next issue is the Olivet Muslim Old Student Association that happened. A little background. A few months ago, there was a flyer that was put on the social media where a group of students, Muslim students of this school, were canvassing for the building of a mosque And the title was A Mosque for Olivet. As of Allah for Olivet. And it caused a lot of uproar among our members. And because of that, the National Executive Council quickly formed an ad hoc committee, which I was the chairman, and members included a past president, who is also a Muslim, Dr. Amadu, and Dr. Ogumola, and the General Secretary, and Dr. Lekan, who is also, I think he's a pastor, or I don't know whether he's an imam, or in between. So we quickly put together that ad hoc committee, and then we invited the students involved, the Muslim students. We held a meeting online, virtually. And after a long discussion, the students apologized and stated that the issue was blown out of proportion, that they have not concretized anything, and they are ready to step backwards from the plan. But then, we discovered that the name of the association had already been registered under the CAC. So we now advise them that for them to make sure, to convince us that they have finally stopped the process or the activity, they should go back to CAC and register that association, that name. And they gave us some time to do this. And just yesterday, they were able to reply that they have been able to effectively register that association, which bore the name of Olivet Mosque. And they've now changed it to something else that does not have Olivet name. I'm trying to look for the name. So we have moved forward. We have made a lot of progress because now two things has happened. They have officially apologized for what happened. And secondly, they have registered the name of the association which bore the name Olivet and changed to something else. And the issue of giving Muslim students a space for prayers, I believe, is something that has been ongoing for some time. And at this point, I would like to call on the immediate past principal to please educate us on what he has been, how he was able to handle the issue of Muslim students' requests for Friday prayer, so that he will help us to know the way forward. If you have any information, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's never a time there was a request as regard the prayer on Fridays by the Muslim students, as far as I know. Eh? What is it?
Thank you. The former principal said that the students have never raised an issue requesting for a place for prayers on Fridays, because that was what one of the representatives told us, that in the past they were asking for a place to pray. But with this information now, I think we have reached an agreement with them that they are not going to build any mosque on the premises of Olivet, and that the association that bore the name of Olivet has also been disbanded. So any other information at this point will be welcome.
The President and the House, I started that process. Please, let us ensure that they have actually been deregistered. Getting information from them to me is not enough. Let's go to CAC and ensure that that name does not exist again. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, Past President, Executive Committee members, and great Olivetians. Sir, the issue has two legs. The first leg is the registration, and the second leg is the account that has already been opened using that name at Jais Bank. And I want to say that there is need for us as a school to take certain stands about account opening. If anybody takes a certificate to a bank and carries Olivet, and they are conscious of the fact that there is a governing body that coordinates the general activities, there should be a recourse to such, at least a letter of introduction that will permit such to be done. But surprisingly, they opened an account. They have been operating this account for years, but now we are just getting to know. So beyond the deregistration, going forward, sir, we should take a stand. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes, as a lady.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocol duly observed. On the issue of the account opening for the bank, I think the right thing to do is to write the bank. Because by banking regulation, they do not have the right to open such account without board of trustees letter signed by the president and the secretary, or as stated on the constitution of the association. So for it not to happen again, it's better to write officially to the bank to let the bank, to hold the bank accountable for them allowing such to ever happen. The bank knows that they are wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, that's another person.
Standing on existing protocols, I just think the best thing to do is write a letter to all banks in Nigeria. All banks in Nigeria. Yes, so that nobody will try that with Olivet again. Then we address immediately what she said to that Jais Bank immediately, that they have done this. They didn't know. Professor Lamy was saying here that we don't know what they submitted. They might have forged, they'll just say from the board of trustees of Olivet, blah, blah, blah. We don't know what they submitted for them to have gone through that. And the number, email, and everything they will submit on their letterhead, the query of the bank will go there, not to us here. So we address that one first and write a letter to all the banks in Nigeria. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, our elders in the House, and everybody present. My own little idea and suggestion is just to lend my voice to what other people have said so far. But I think we need to go a little bit, a step further to find out, are these students behind this issue? Maybe there's some elders pushing them, so that we want to verify. If we need forensic information, we can actually sought for the help of security agents to find out who are behind this. We know Olivet is known for peace, and we have been together. I was born a Muslim. My name was Ramoni when I was in school. I lived with my uncle who was a teacher here, Mr. Adubi. I lived with him from age of 6. I've been converted to Christianity. No matter who you are here, we don't play with going to chapel. Please, that is my little advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, somebody behind.
Good afternoon, our elders here. I adopt all existing protocols I want to say two things. Number one, we cannot write to all the banks with all due respect to the speaker. Because if a company has its organogram, has its board of trustees, is registered with CAC, nobody can stop that organization from opening any account. So we do not have the local standard to write to the banks not to allow them to open. My own suggestion, with all due respect, is that if we know all these people, the first thing is to invite them to a roundtable discussion. That is arbitration. If we talk to them, we know their motives, we know who they are. For now, we do not know their details. By the time we invite them, we know their details, we know who they are, we know their objectives, and then by then we will make sure that we dissociate ourselves from them. I want us to learn from what happened to Nigerian Baptist Convention, and there is a church in Ibadan. The church registered its own board of trustees, and they are saying they are dissociating, they are not part of Nigerian Baptist Convention. Still, they want to be enjoying from Nigerian Baptist Convention. And at the end of the day, I could remember that the court ruled that as long as they have their own board of trustees, they are separate bodies. So my own suggestion is that we should invite them. We should form a committee to sit with them, talk to them, know what they want, then we know from there we'll take it on. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Please, Baba is here. Are you Sirs, this body was registered. For you to register, you must have a board of trustees. So they have a board of trustees that is different from ours. And you must know that. Why the name, why they registered that name is what we should also query. Because the name exists already and shouldn't be registered. Those are the issues. But if they had made it a Muslim organization, that has differentiated it from the school. So Olivet is not unique to us. And that is what they have played on. Because the CAC is very careful when it comes to names. So we may need to go further to investigate who are behind this. Because that may be the major issues we are having here. Even if they are our students, they may not be the one drumming. We are just seeing them dancing. Thank you.
Mr. President, sir, what I know is that bank will not open accounts for anybody that does not have a constitution. And the constitution will spell everything out. The aim, the objective, and everything. Get a copy of their constitution and read it. I think that is what I think we should do. A copy of their constitution. Let a lawyer decipher it for us. But even for lottery late, they say they have disowned that name. Why are we now trying to order ourselves? They've disowned this organization. Why are we trying to trouble our minds? Let us keep our mind at peace. Please.
Thank you, sir.
My brother, I'm not going to explain everything to you. Let me stand up and talk. He's here with us. He's a strong man there.
All right.
The national president, sir, our revered elders, great Olivetians. Let me start off by saying that I entered Olivet as a Muslim and I left Olivet as a Muslim. I am still a Muslim today. Let's establish that fact. Most of the points we raised have been addressed by the president in council. And if we just stretch it further, we know those who are behind the association. We had discussion with them. He mentioned that he had an adult committee that spoke with them. So it's not as if there are spirits anywhere. And the president told them that the first thing to do, please go and deregister. They did that and reported back to him, which he has reported to us now, that particular association has been deregistered. The next stage is, do they have a bank account? Perhaps they do. But we, on our own, cannot write to the bank to say, stop that account. We don't have the authority. The board of trustees of that association, which has now been deregistered, perhaps could do that. We can only raise issues with CAC. And they are on the path of doing what we want them to do, to deregister completely. So the next thing to this, we have spoken with them. Let's continue to engage them. Please go ahead and change the name on the bank account. And that closes it. So we don't create a mountain out of this thing. They are compliant as far as we know. Let's get them to go further. We can't write a letter to the bank. We check with them, that follow them up and ensure that that account is closed in the name that we used to know it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I will just add two things to that, to what Dr. Amadu just said. Because when Mr. Lagbenro sent the flyer to me, I immediately contacted their chairman, who happens to be a UK resident. And he was very apologetic. So the president has done the work, they've reported back. The only thing that I want to add is this. The ownership of the vigilance of protecting our brand is us. Because when you register with CAC, you have to publish. I believe it's for 90 days. If there is no objection, that's when the registration moves forward. What we need to do more often, whether it's the school that has to designate somebody, because there's so many newspapers online, and all they have to do every day is just Google Olivet or search for Olivet, online news Olivet. It will print everything up, because when I first saw it, that's what I did. I knew the day of their registration was already gone. The announcement period is already gone. When they said the register, please, the registration is a long process. The registration at CAC, you are asking them to close a file and reopen a new file. That's basically what the registration is. In my own life, when I was at UAC, we registered UAC restaurant. Somebody challenged it. We have to then go back and re-register as restaurant UAC in order for Mr. Biggs to be able to be separated from the entire system. It took us 3 years. The registration is not as simple as you go to UAC. You have to CAC. You have to appeal. They must have a hearing. There must be a reason. The process is a very long process. So if they agree to it, maybe they should give us a copy of their deregistration, so that in turn we can be assured that they've done the needful. Again, Mr. President has done the work. It's now through, I can't use the word. I wanted to use too caressing and holding conversation might be the only way that they will actually correct their course. But if you think it's just we've deregistered, the register doesn't work like that. Or it takes a while, please.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. The little knowledge I have about any group of people that carry a title that bears with religion, they must have an affiliation. They must have an affiliation, and there will be an undertaking. If this body falls apart, our account goes to that body. Now to go and change the name of the account, it means they are still existing in another form. They are still existing in another form. That is what I know about a body that has a title that bears a religion. Because religion is something that does not die quickly. It is in the heart. It is in the heart. So God help us. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not a threat to our body, to our school. It's not a threat.
Thank you, sir. We have had a very exhaustive debate on this, and I want to thank all those who contributed. Just like it has been said, we've held a meeting with these people. We know who they are, and they have promised to do all we ask them to do. What is left for us now is to continue the dialogue with them. And I'm happy that that committee can continue the work even after the exit of this executive. Thank you so much. The next item has to do with a proposed constitutional review. For those of you who are familiar with our constitution, you will see that under Article 20 of our constitution, I think soft copies were sent sometime to all of us. There is an opportunity for the constitution to be amended, because some of the problems we have been having in the last few months, especially that has to do with elections, nominations, and co, have been caused because our constitution did not capture in details every aspect of this. We are not blaming anybody for this. It is not because at the time this constitution was enacted, NOSA was still in infancy. But you all agree with me now that we are now in the teenage. Teenagers are the ones who are restless and very active. So I think we are now in our adulthood, and there's very important need for us to amend our constitution. And so the plan from what is the constitution, the process of amending a constitution has been listed in the constitution, and it's a long process. But we have to start somewhere. And I believe the process is that we have to put in place a constitutional amendment committee. Secondly, every chapter will now send its own areas of concern to the committee, so that there will be a meeting by the committee where all these inputs from the chapters will be examined. And then, finally, the amendment, according to Article 20, 20L, it said the Constitution shall be amended at either an annual general meeting or special general meeting of the association called for the purpose of the amendment. That is, after the committee that were put in place has received input from all the chapters, a time will now be fixed, either a physical meeting or a virtual meeting, where this amendment can be considered. And according to the Constitution, Article 20J, it said the amendments shall not be passed except by a 2/3 majority of the members at that AGM. Meaning that after we have taken input from everybody and we fix a time for the meeting, this amendment will now be passed by at least 2/3 of that meeting. So
our duty today is to look at this process and see whether we can start the process by asking for nominations into this Constitutional Review Committee. And our thought is that we have maybe 2 or 3 members from every chapter. And then that committee will now decide who will be the chairman, or we can decide on the chairmanship. We can also give the committee terms of reference. We can give the committee the time for it to work, to receive information from different chapters. And the rest of the process will be continued by the incoming executive. So this is my submission. I will pause here for contributions and suggestions on the way forward. Thank you. Okay. I've been advised that we first of all have to agree among ourselves that we need a constitutional review. And this will come in form of a motion. So if we agree, somebody will move a motion, and if that motion is passed, then we'll now go to the next stage of putting in place a constitutional review committee. Thank you. Yes. Please. Jefford.
All protocol duly observed.
Okay, who has this motion?
Ogunlade Elijah is my name. 2007 year set. Hereby move motion for constitutional review.
Sorry, thank you, my brother. But I understand that somebody has already brought a motion. Femi Oyewole Emmanuel, are you here? Please, can you read your motion and then? Okay, sorry, don't read. Just raise your motion, and then maybe the fellow here can second it, and then.
Yes, all protocols duly observed. My name is Femi Oyewale Emmanuel. I'm here to move a motion for the review of the constitution that governs NOSA, and for us to use this AGM opportunity to set up a committee to look into that review for necessary amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder? Your second is now.
Ogunlade Elijah, 2007 year set, second the motion for constitutional review.
Thank you. Are we all in agreement? Say yeah. Anybody against, say nay. The yeah carries it. Thank you. So now, we will welcome three per chapter, 3 members from chapter. That will be it. So we will go from chapter to chapter, and you will send us names, which the secretary will record. I think we can start with Abuja chapter. Can you give us 3 names of those who want to represent you? And just fast. Get through. Okay, sorry, buddy. The suggestion is being made that so that we don't rush you, can you send the names to us later? But to send before tomorrow. Oh, you have them ready? Okay. So we don't want to rush the chapters. Please use today and tomorrow to think about 3 representatives from your chapter that will represent you on the Constitutional Review Committee, so that tomorrow at the AGM we can now constitute the committee. Thank you so much.
So we're coming to observation. Yes, sir.
In view of the acceptance of the association to review, maybe the executive will have to send copies of this constitution to each chapter. Please, a copy to each chapter of their knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. They already have soft copies, but we will resend the soft copies. Thank you, sir. So we now go on to the next item. That is the financial report, which will be handled by the National Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. President, past presidents, executive committee members, great Olivetians. Here is the financial report for the first neck between July and October 2025. Olivet, but I've shared this on the platform for us to access. We have it on the global and on the worldwide. Thank you. We opened the period with a sum of 287,870 naira 49 kobo. The income generated during the period under review was 12,890,616 naira 96 kobo. All thanks to the asset, chapters, individual members who paid in their dues. The expenditure during this period was 3,158,543 naira and 35 kobo. The surplus of income over expenditure was 9,732,073 naira 61 kobo. If we add this to the opening balance, we will have an accumulated fund of 10,019,944 naira 10 kobo. This accumulated fund, as at this date, was represented as Zenith Bank account 8,506,944 naira 10 kobo. Account receivables 1,510,000 naira. For clarity and disclosure, the account review in question, receivable in question, came from a double payment into the school's account for the repairs of the fence that was brought down during the deadly windstorm. After the school, of course, having used the actual amount, the 1,513,000 had to be refunded. But as at the cutoff date of 31st October, it wasn't refunded. But I can say for free that as at today, that this next meeting is holding, the 1,513,000 has been refunded. So, accumulatively, we have 10,019,944 naira 10 kobo. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. I think at this point, we will ask somebody to make an motion to adopt the report for discussion. And then somebody should second. Anybody to move the motion to adopt? Yes, sir.
has it been audited? Audited?
This particular report is audited. However, by tomorrow during the annual general meeting, we are going to have the annual financial statement, and the statutory auditor will be here to officially present that to us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Point of clarification. Number one, the financial affairs of July through October.
For discussion first. Let's get the motion.
Okay.
That is after. So that we can now start discussing. Yes, thank you. Sorry, somebody should move a motion for adoption for discussion. And then, yes, this one.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Dr. Lekon Adelakun. I hereby move motion for adoption of the financial report as presented by the Treasurer for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder? Okay.
I, Bolan Olabenjo, second the motion for adoption for discussion.
Thank you so much. So let him start the discussion.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I stand on existing. The first question that I have is why July through October instead of November 1st through October? That's the first question.
Thank you very much. This is the NEC meeting. We report it quarterly. So the one that comes November 1 to October 31 will be read tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Then the label is wrong. The label should say quarterly report. Because you will have to do a quarterly report and a consolidated report for the entire year. It's a moving, that's what I'm used to. So I don't know.
Yes, you are right on one part, sir. You know, ideally, our NEC meeting should be on quarterly basis, which means by the end of June, we should not have NEC meeting in June because it should be July by normal arrangement, because the end of the year is October. So the last quarter should have been October, September, August. But because it is not a quarterly meeting as it were, that was why the period under review had to be clearly stated.
Just a point of note. Also, because each account has a statutory obligation, that's why the contribution. It should be segmented the same way. That is, AGM support should have its own line, NOSA teacher should have his own line, and the rolling figure should be so that in turn it's easier to, number one, to follow, and in turn, because I was excited when you said we have 10 million. That's my first excitement. But I also know, out of this 10 million, you better not touch NOSA teachers' money. Because if you touch NOSA teachers' money, and you cannot touch development money, because those money are earmarked for those purposes. So I think we should make sure we do it accordingly, and so that in turn it can help the income to be a little bit disciplined. Otherwise, the consolidation will say I have 10 million, but you don't have 10 million to spend though. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. This is noted. The schedule of dues, yes, the schedule of dues according to their revenue head will be shared on the platform. Thank you, sir.
The report is a bit confusing because it's like it's floating.
have a report that is telling me 3 months. And I know in accounting that the normal thing is for you to say, okay, even if it is quarterly, where is it brought forward? If it's quarterly, what did you generate that same quarter last year? I mean, the presentation looks somehow vague to me. Because the next meeting you are talking about, is it everybody that attended it? No. So why is it the quarterly amount that is generated that is in the accounts? Please enlighten us better.
Thank you, our elder. Yes, what you have requested for, sir, be patient enough to be at the AGM tomorrow. You will have the comparative figures. The AFS, like I mentioned, gives room for comparison. You will have the same thing we had in the past year so that you can make informed decisions. I quite understand what you are saying, but this report here is more of management. And you know this report, like you mentioned, the basic neck is for chapter chairman and secretaries, YASET chairman and secretaries, and the central executive. But like I mentioned, tomorrow you have it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that's your very good contribution, sir.
Oh, thank you. Having done that, I think we go on to the next leg of the report. That is the audited account of the 2025 80th anniversary committee.
Mr. President, past president, executive committee members, the 80th anniversary report would be read, but I want, before reading, I want to please indulge or beg or beseech that we approach this discussion using figures and not personalities. Thank you. Brief history. The Central Planning Committee gave this report, management report, to the executives. And like the president mentioned during the June NEC meeting, we had our internal conversation. But for satisfaction, and of course for everybody to know that whoever or whatever is in this content, it is not generated and concluded at our level. This report was extended to an external consulting. And the report to the external consultant, Taiwo Adefila and Co., they carried out their exercise and submitted to the executive committee yesterday. Few highlights that I'm just going to go through. The income. The total income for the 80th anniversary was 347,461,974 naira. The total expenditure was 249,373 naira. The expected surplus over deficit should be 138,212,601 naira. Income 347,461,974. 347,461,974 naira. 347,461,974. And the expenditure 209,249,000 of 138,212,601 naira. The above sum, as at the cutoff date of this report, add receivables. And the receivables totaled 110,068,000. Of this 110,068,000, 110 million formed part of the pledges by our donors. While 68,000 was an excess from the amount transferred from the 80th anniversary account to the main NUSA account for onward distribution to vendors. At the end of the reconciliation, the balance of 68,000 was still with NUSA's account as at this time. Hence, the 110,068,000. Another thing of note, which, like I mentioned to us, is that the bank balance as at that time, the cutoff, bearing in mind that there were receivables that I mentioned. So as against the 138 million as at this cutoff date, we had receivables, which means that as at that date, the accounts in bank, the balances was 25,366,732 naira. I take that again. 25,366,732. Also of importance are the notes to the account, as we have them in this report. This report covers the Founders' Day and the grand finale of the 80th anniversary. Mr. President, may I stop at this juncture for people to speak for? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please, I need somebody to move a motion to adopt the report for discussion. Somebody to move a motion for adoption. Yes, please.
Standing on the existing protocol, I, Oluwabukumi Ayinde, hereby move motion for adoption of the report for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder? I so seconded. Your name, please. Akifende James. Thank you. So, on that note, the floor is open for discussion. Yes.
Mr. President, the elders, I stand on existing protocol. For purpose of clarity, number one, may I ask why the treasurer is the one delivering financial report instead of the financial secretary? That's number one. Number two, the financial report, an auditor's report has an auditor's statement. The auditor's statement is the one that is appropriate to the NEC. The full-fledged financial report discussion should be at the AGM. So I'm asking that question for clarity. If administratively the president is either we want to save time during the AGM, that's why we are doing it at the NEC, or is that a new protocol that we should adjust to? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, former president. Yes, you have answered the question. You agree with me that this report has generated a lot of emotions in the last 48 hours. And I just believe that it's better for us to give a full detail here. And that's why we took that decision. Because we don't want to tell people that we are not going to discuss it again. It will be tomorrow. That's why he has been asked to go the full length. But having said that, I think he should also read the auditor's reports and statements, unless it's against the ethics of your profession as an accountant.
Okay. Mr. President, just like you have rightly said, the financial secretary will read that portion. Thank you so much.
Financial secretary, where are you?
I'm here, sir.
Please come and read. I'll give it to him. Come and read the auditor's report.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. My name is Oyetunde Atoyebi. I hereby give the report of the auditors to the national auditors. The report of the financial statement. We have audited the accompanying financial statement for the 80th anniversary of Olivet Baptist High School, which comprise the statement of financial position and statement of income and expenditure, statement of cash flow, and a summary of significant accounting policy and other explanatory information as set out on pages 8 to 16. Central Planning Committee's responsibility for the financial statements. The Central Planning Committee are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with international financial reporting standards and the requirement of the Companies and Earlier Matter Act 2020. This responsibility includes designing, implementing and maintaining internal control relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement that are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, selecting and applying appropriate accounting policies and making accounting estimates that are reasonable in the circumstances. Auditors' responsibilities.
Our responsibility is to express an independent opinion on this financial statement based on our audit. On those financial statements prepared by the committee, we conducted our audit in accordance with international standard of auditing, ISAX. Those standards require that we comply with ethical requirements and plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatements. An audit-informed performing procedure to obtain audit evidence about amount and disclosures in the financial statement. The procedure selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of the risk of materials, misstatement of the financial statement, whether due to fraud or error. In making those risk assessments, the auditor consider internal control relevant to the entity preparation of fair presentation of financial statements in order to design audit procedure that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity internal control. And audit also include evaluating the appropriateness of accounting estimates made by the committee, as well as evaluating the overall presentation of financial statements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, could be of most significance in our audit of the financial statement of the current period. We, however, specifically highlight that there are no other key audit matters pertaining to this financial statement which have not been accounted for. Opinion. In our opinion, the financial statement gives a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the 80th anniversary in accordance with the provision of international financial reporting standards, Financial Reporting Council Act, and the requirement of the Company and Earlier Matter Act 2020, and other statutory financial regulations. Report on other legal requirements comply with the requirements Schedule 6 of the Company and Other Matter Act of Nigeria. The Company and Other Matter Act 2020 require that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that. 1. We have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper book of accounts have been kept by the committee. 3. The statement of financial position and statement of income and expenditure and statement of cash flow are in agreement with the book of accounts. Signed, Taiwo Ademola Adefila, FRS 2013, ICANN, Principal Partner, Taiwo Ademola Adefila & Co., Chartered Accountant. My fellow Olivetians, I hereby present the audited report of 80th anniversary for discussion.
Thank you. We appreciate. So now we will go on to AOB. And, sir? Oh, on the report. Auditor's report. Okay. Sorry. We asked for.
Thank you, Mr. President. You agree with me that the issue of funds or finance is major in any association. So we have to take time to discuss it. Secondly, the financial secretary's report, when he started, and even the treasurer, they made reference, they are not assuming liabilities. They said through the CPC. Is it that they have dispensed with their powers as our national officers, as treasurers, as secretaries, and financial secretaries? Is because does the Constitution allow any other person to act on behalf of national officers? So that statement that they made need to be given further explanations. That's one. Number two, the report has also said 138, 212, 601 as received, which is the balance now. Good. But which accounts of NOSA did we operate these funds? Who were signatories to the accounts? If the national treasurer or financial secretary and the president are signatories, they should be able to give us full details of activities of whatever happened. Even if we have asked some committees to work on our behalf, there's a recourse to it. The president is the accounting officer of NOSA. He owes responsibilities to all of us to explain everything in detail and not anybody. Mr. President, I present to you for your discussions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman Osogbo. I will answer the one that I know and then pass on the rest to the treasurer. The first question, whereby you ask whether the Constitution allows anybody to act on behalf of anybody while still in office, is another area where we have a lacuna in our Constitution. Because I recall a lot of back and forth. People saying that because the current treasurer is also a contestant, it has nothing to do with the accounts. I went through the Constitution and I did not see anywhere where that statement was written in the Constitution. So that is one of the reasons why we need to amend our Constitution. It's good that these things are coming up now. We will answer that when time comes. It's just like asking a sitting president of Nigeria who is contesting to hands off the reins of office of being a president. But for NOSA, we cross the bridge when we get there. And this is one of the things that I pray our Constitution will help us to answer. Then the other one is a technical question, which the treasurer will answer. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I want to confirm if I got your questions right. You asked whether the treasurer is a signatory. Thank you for your question, sir. I am not a signatory to the 88th anniversary account. But of course, I think this is because we are at the meeting. People who operated the account are here. So whatever questions we have, they can answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. To avoid the prolongation of the debate, when the 80th anniversary committee was set up, we wanted to hasten the job of the committee. We wanted to remove all bottlenecks and any areas of delays in the approval. And then secondly, we wanted an independent account that would be different from NOSA account for the purpose of accountability. And I'm so happy that we did that.
Because when the issue of auditing the account came up, it was easy for us to send it straight to the external auditors who did not have any problem in identifying how the money was spent. And there was no mix-up with previous NOSA accounts. So that's what we did. And if you listen to the report of the external auditor, it was very clear. It gave them, if we had either lumped them up with NOSA account or added our ESCO members to the team, I'm sure we will not be where we are today. And that was what we did. So that's my answer to that question. Thank you.
Mr. President and the House, Babalala happens to be the oldest old student in this room. And by the grace of God, I am the next oldest student in this hall as of today. Mr. President and the House, the report given to us, forgive me, I belong to the old school at 81. And all that we have been told, income. How did we generate the income? You also told us expenditure. Yeah. What were the monies expended on? If we collected 347 and we have already spent 200 and something, hey, let us get serious. We collected money. I want to ask one simple question. Did we have a budget for the anniversary? What I mean is this. My background is in the public service, and I know before you embark on anything, you must have budget. And it's from the budget that you now have to key into how much was allocated to this heading and how much have you spent. From the look of things now, do we have any budget as approved by the EXCO, handed over to CPC as a guideline for expenditure? That's one question. Did we have a budget for the 80th anniversary that detailed all the activities which we want to embark upon? I beg you, seniority is forever. I can punish the people at the back. Let's have one house and let us get serious. This is a serious matter which we are discussing. I want to ask again, in our soliciting for funds, what did we tell those people who want the monies? If there is any plural for money or monies. What did we tell them before they doled out or issued checks and told us what we wanted to do with the money which they are giving us? I'm sorry, let us get serious. I know that Olivet is one family, but there are many windows. We are in the same room, but the windows are many. In which case, this income and expenditure, they don't tally, and I can't get it in the absence of a budget that should guide the expenditure. Sir, we need details of this income. How did you generate them? Who gave what? That total 347 million. We also need the breakdown. How we have expended 200 something plus on the anniversary alone as to what we wanted to do that we told those people, I'm not inferencing that we obtained money under a pretext, and we have already spent the money on another matter. Fellow old students, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I have already established the fact that I am this oldest old student in this room now, and you should give me audience. Hey, come on, let's get serious. And I mentioned the fact that Bayo Adesokwe, he is older, but I was a senior until lost modern school and so on. Koto was in school. In the course of this association, some of us have been long enough, and with all sense of modesty, I was in the first national executive headed by Papa Akintola. And that was a situation where we didn't even have income. We only have people of old students. Not this day and age when we are going about with fine barra. Let Otedola keep his money if he doesn't agree with what we want to do. I mean, keep your money. The school is always there. It will outlive Otedola and myself. And we are now running around because we must please him. It's a money bag. Ladies and gentlemen, I was saying that we generated income, which we solicited from people that we want to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, F. And before anything now, we have spent the money. And that's why I'm asking the House. We want to know the expenditures that were incurred that totaled this other amount. It is important because many of the things which we have now distributed to us is no longer a secret. It's an open report. And there are questionable expenditures. There are questionable expenditures which we need explanations. Otherwise, hey, at my age and at my level, I should ask questions. And if I cannot get a satisfactory answer, I have a choice. So, Mr. President, income was generated. I don't know the MOU you gave. Did we have a budget before we started incurring expenses? Were we guided? Hey, we want to do this. Did we consider quotations, biddings, and all the kind of thing, or we just go ahead and just do everything? I am in shock as to what I got on the report, because I am also involved in an item of expenditure on which I had cried foul, to which I didn't get any answer. I don't know if I will have another opportunity, or just let me pour out my bowel. It has to do with the book, the Olivet publication, 80 years. This is the opportunity that I have. Can I thank Akinola Deji for releasing Mobola to that committee? She was running up and down. Please give her a round of applause. We were spending nights upon nights to be able to assemble materials. At a point in time, Mr. President, we got to a point where, given the level of my expertise, and I thought we needed help, I asked you, sir, to request you for a writer. And you gave me a professor of English language from the premier university in Nigeria. How many active to anybody, Nigerians don't read. Only they will be interested in the admission number, and he threw away the book. we quoted that the book should be published hardcover for 7,000 naira to be sold at 10,000 naira. And the paperback for 5,000 to be sold for 7,000. So that it will be handy. You can disburse 10,000. At the end of the day, what I got in this report not only shocked me, it broke my heart. To say the book is being sold for 40,000 and that it was produced for 35,000. How many copies did we produce? I now saw a revenue of 419,000 and an investment of about 10 million. Something is wrong. We must, at a certain level, be able to own up to certain things that are not right. My children attended the funeral of one of our friends who was aged 74 or thereabout. Some of them we didn't go. When they came back, Mr. Susu and so, they said he was 74. One of my children said, the man tried now, and at that time I was 78. So if the man that died at 74 tried, and I was 78 at that time, and by the grace of God, I'm 81 now. So help me God. Mr. President, members of the executive, all students, if we are doing it in order of popularity, Bayo will come after me, Olubunmi Adegbeson. I didn't know I was only older than him by 3. We are village people and we only came to Olivet. On a very serious note, this report, to me, if we do not get the breakdown of expenditure head and how the expenses were incurred without a budget to guide the expenditure, I'm sorry, this is not acceptable. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question, sir. I will now ask the chairman of the CBC to respond to the questions. Thank you, sir.
On top of the other questions, the presentation made by the treasurer, I'm asking a question. We have to have the breakdown of expenditure A to Z. Thank you.
The national president, sir, our elders, and I must recognize Alhaji Olayinka Adedimeji as the most senior Olivetan here. I'm happy he corrected position that he was the oldest Olivetan here. He is the most senior Olivetan here. Baba Adesope is 85 years old this year. I'm happy you did the correction, sir. And I'm also mentioned an aside that Alhaji is a great communicator any day. I'm not polishing your marble, but you are a great communicator any day. And I've expressed this one to you several times. I say this with a lot of respect to you, sir. Is it? Yeah. Reason being that most of the questions you ask, you are part and parcel of the committees that worked on this one. At a point, you opted out. You were elected as the chairman of the book committee by the national president himself. I did not set up that committee. That committee was specially chosen by him, and he handpicked those who he believed would do a thorough job. We all have options in life. You chose the option of opting out of that position. Can I go on, sir? Can I go on? I cannot be interpreted. Can I go on, sir? No. Can I go on, sir? You had your time, sir. No, you had your time, sir. You had your time, sir. Please, I will so yield. So a new chairman was put in place, and the committee began to operate. Again, options. At a point in time, you also opted to support the committee, albeit as a non-member. And at the end of the day, the committee did a report. But I want to make it loud and clear to all of us here that the Central Planning Committee did not operate in a single cell. We had people that came together to form that big cells. We allowed the committees to work in silos and report back to the Central Planning Committee. Each committee was given the assignment, prepare your budget. So we did not set out to just say, go ahead. We wanted to know how much they would need to carry out certain assignments. And the core assignments were: one, the book; number two, the infrastructure; no, number two, celebrating Olivet at 80. Celebration means coming together, January 29, have the ceremony in April, and so on and so forth. That was the number two priority. Number three is that we shouldn't just go about dancing and dancing. We should leave certain projects with Olivet. And that major project to us was we should bring infrastructure to Olivet, make Olivet look attractive again. The national president, sir, you will recall that at a point in time, we couldn't raise money. So the issue of budget is never done in isolation. You must have an idea of how much money you are going to have or you already have because you talk about a budget. We did not have nothing. And we told the national president that, sorry, please, we will raise our own money ourselves. No matter how small, we will just cut our coat according to what is available. So it is not a regular organization, business organization, where you say, okay, this year our expenditure is so much, so we do a budget of this year. Last year we made so much money, so we can project. No, sir. The last time we did an anniversary like that was about 5 years ago. The last time before that was about 10 years ago. We never had a budget that was tied to what Olivet had in purse, or rather NOSA had in purse. So our budgets were only anticipatory of what income will come to the celebration. As at close to the month of February, we were really hard up. That I have to mention to the president that at the way we are going, all we could do would be maybe, sorry, dear colleagues, if I borrow from my uncle, I'm also senior enough to punish some people. So please, let's calm down a bit. So I went back to him and said, from the look of things, maybe we just concentrate on having the anniversary night, go to the Baptist convention over there, and just shake hands, share snacks. And he said, Mr. Chairman, please, whatever we can do, go ahead. If we don't have money, we are not going to borrow money. But by dint of hard work, we went here, there, and yonder. And we had resources, resourceful people also in our system. How did we make the money? We told each Olivetian to contribute so much. That didn't amount to much. 5,000 per head. People queried us and said, you are going to do a celebration and you're asking for 5,000 per head. How many people will contribute 5,000 per head? If you did 1,000 people, that gives you 5 million naira. I hope my mathematics is correct. That's all you get. So what will 5 million naira do? So we went out and said, how could we raise money? We called most of our people. We went to the deputy governor in Lagos, who happened to be one of the foremost Olivetians. And he said to us, don't worry, at the right time I will do something. He gave us 10 million naira. And that was when the hope was coming back. That, okay, with 10 million naira we can continue to do certain things. We also said to ourselves, how can we make those of our members who are affluent and ready to give, they also gave money. And please, I beg your pardon, Mr. President, I don't want to polish anybody's map. We came up with the idea that, can we check on Olivetians who had more than one person that attended Olivet? And that came from the idea that me that I'm standing before you, at least 13, I saw one of them moving up and down, Ayinka, 13 of my family members attended Olivet. I said, I cannot compare my family with one who just had one person coming to Olivet. We should pay something in return. And when we said, okay, super family should do 250,000 per head, some people started doing it. And we raised some money through that. Along the way, somebody called me and said, we can make more money on this project. And I said, he was asking me, what's your target? I said, so much. And at the end of the day, I said, you that you think you can make so much money, go ahead. Let's get money into the account. Hello? Don't worry, when I'm 81 too, I'll be able to speak like Uncle, and you will listen to me. Now, I called this gentleman and said, go ahead and chair that committee. By the grace of God, we raised about 24-point-something million through that effort. So, are we adding the figures? 10 from somebody, 24 from a source, and other Olivetians contributed so much money. And we had contacted a lot of our very wealthy Olivetians, companies and others. We got support from so many of them. A particular one amongst them pledged 200 million. That was the day we jumped for joy and said, wow, we could have the celebration. But he gave conditions to the money that he was going to donate. He said, in fact, he was a bit naive about the situation of Olivet. He said, I learned that they don't have hostess anymore. He said, of course, yes. He had not been here for almost 40 years. So he said, the first thing you do for me, please paint all the buildings in Olivet. Make them look good so that when anybody gets there, they can feel you are in a school. It will be attractive to them. It's instruction. Paint all the buildings. Let them look good. I will go further to now change all the roofs when the time comes. Change all the window panes. Just let the school look good first. Then you can add other things to it. That was his instruction. He is alive. And we mentioned this one to the national president that this money is dedicated to certain projects. Number two, we told him that we wanted power supply around the clock at Olivet so that we could use facilities to generate money for Olivet. So we don't go cap in hand every time to beg for money. And he said, submit your budget. We did to him. When he gave the money, he said, sorry, I don't want this money to be used to run the activities of NOSA. Let's say the way it is. I want it dedicated to the project that he went on to say, I will set up a small committee for my set up a board of directors. So long as you have money, I will spend it on Olivet. So he appointed a committee. With my good self being there, he appointed Professor Taiwo Oshipiton, SAN, as another member. And the third one is bosom friend, Mr. Yinka Ogunshakin, based in the US, as trustees. And he empowered us to say that once I have given you authority to do certain projects, you can check and be sure that these things are properly done. You represent me. I communicated this to the ESCO, to the president. And the president said, okay, what we want is for projects to be on the side. So we embarked on total rehabilitation of the buildings, the decorating of the building, I mean. Secondly, we also introduced facilities for power supply. We introduced new water system in certain areas. We did so many, with that money that came in. He promised 200, he only gave us 100. He said, I will give the other 100 as time will go on. So I have gone this length to try to give the general picture of what we did at Olivet. And it was not money spent by just a particular individual. They were money spent by committees that were set up. With due respect to the General Secretary, he was the chairman of the January 29 occasion. With due respect to other people, there were chairmen, chairpersons here and there who handle situations. It's not that somebody just sat somewhere and was writing figures. So I just said I should make this point so that we clarify the situation. I apologize if I've not been as eloquent as Uncle, but the points are the point. Number two, when we are here and we are raising points about professional jobs, professional duties, professional knowledge, I think we need to be careful. Why? This report was done by professionally certified accountants, auditors. Not by me, not by Bola, not by any one of us. And we went through whatever you can imagine, one time, second time, third time, and then a general meeting was held with ourselves, the ESCO, and the auditors before they wrote their final report. So it's not something that we can just say, oh, I don't agree. Sirs, please read through this report. This is not the full report. No. There are so many attachments that you can go through detailing out how every naira was spent. We will answer certain questions, but I want to just observe that if an auditor has prepared a report, it is the responsibility of that auditor to answer questions about his report. He had queried me. The auditor had queried me. I have answered all his queries. So he says, okay, at this point, I'm okay with you. Should I now go to another committee to say, okay, what are your questions? Let's call in the auditor to ask all the questions. He has done his work. He has submitted his report. So it is here. So it is not for anyone to say, oh, you spent 10 million naira on a particular thing. Dig for the details, please. Open up the report. Ask questions. On the book issue, finally, before I go into details of the questions. On the book issues, there are books and there are books. For those who know me personally, and I'm not trying to make much about it, we try to go for the best at all times. And as we go for that, we also are conscious that we cannot just spend our last penny to make people respect us. I told Chief Aditoye, I think that's his name, that do not expect that you write a perfect book, but please present a book that will represent Olivet. So not just Olivetians, people will look at it, people will see it. That is the brand. Olivet is our brand, and that brand must be protected at all times. I won't say at all costs, but even at very huge cost, because that is what we are, and that's what we represent. I dare say that a copy of the book presented to the committee to CPC should be made available, and the copy of the book that the CPC presented at the end of the day, they should be put side to side. So my point, sir, is the fact that this is supposed to be the guide to all questions that people will ask. But for the fact that we are family, we will answer the questions to the best of our ability. Otherwise, elsewhere, I will just say with due respect to everybody, go and read the report. Permit Mr. to ask Mr. Labinjo to ask Kamil to answer a few questions. Thank you very much.
I'm going to add a couple of items in order to answer Engineer Ajao's question about the accounts. The president already answered one of the questions that he authorized the account to be open. The donor specified that a separate account must be open, and it is in writing that he specified that his money cannot come into running the affairs of NOSA. So that was established. The third leg, which Alhaji mentioned, with due respect, sir, after the book and Chief Adeotoye asked us to get a writer to further edit the book. And, you know, technology is so great. The report that you see today, there is 74 pages and 3,000 receipts. We stored it in the cloud. And the reason why we did that, any Olivetian can access it for the sake of transparency. I read some, and I will qualify it the same way I read a bunch of nonsense. Nonsense. On the global platform between yesterday and today. And I laughed. The book that Alhaji mentioned, we were at the dead end of the deadline in order to meet the launch. Is Wale Babalola here? Okay, maybe you'll be here tomorrow. He was the first person through a printer in Ibadan called Rehoboth So the quote that Alaji made was for the initial quote. The quote that they gave us at a later date, they told us they could not meet it. We searched high and low to find a printer. You know, there's some things that pain, because may the Lord bless the soul of Femi Jehoshua. May his soul continue to rest in peace. In the dead hours of the night, he found a printer called Afrint.